Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing, and today I'm going to talk about scraps. Solid color for the most part scraps, and how I store them. There was a post on Instagram, and she was asking how people store their scraps, and she had one of those really cute little drawer dividers, like kind of like this, a drawer, clear, so you could see through it. I mean, you know how I feel about clear stuff, so I don't know if this is the best system. I'm just telling you this is how I do it for now, and I am constantly looking for something better. Or maybe this is it. I don't know. I've changed how I do it over the years lots of different times. Okay, the first thing I have is in these bags. These are, the only reason there's bigger pieces is I might have been traveling. Like if I was at a crop, I would have done that. But for the most part, these bags are strips. They're the branding strips. They're the extra pieces when I make cards. They're what's left when nothing's big enough to die cut, and only a 1/2-inch sentiment stamp would work on it. So I put those in these bags, and I use those for scrap card backgrounds and random things. And I mix solids and printed. I just throw them in there as I go instead of throwing those tiny strips in the trash. Then I have, if I am using one of those job pockets that has a specific color in it, I take the strips and put them back in here. And these are usually large enough to use for a sentiment or a die cut in the future. If they were tiny and I was really thinking about it, or if I had left a bunch out on the counter, I would just throw them in here at the end. But if they match, I'll put them in here. And if they're sizable enough to use. White, I try and shove white back in here. The reason there's so much extra white is because my craft room was so messy, and as I cleaned, I found different places that there were piles of white under projects. So it'll probably take me a little while to use up these scraps, but I will. Then this big tub, this is how I used to do my scraps, and what I found is when I just did them this way, they piled up. So I've been working on not adding to this and using it. And in here is anything that isn't 12 by 12. So there might be some 8 by 8 that's full, and see here's some white that I don't love. It's not real nice quality. These are probably the papers that came in the divider pages of a mini album. So I go in here sometimes if I'm looking for like a card base or something bigger. The one I use the absolute most is this. I'm very certain this was intended to be a photo organizer box. I got this at a garage sale last summer in that big haul I showed you. And I have taken these and divided them by colors. So this is blue and purple. And this is earth tones, so almond, vanilla, yellow, browns. This one is black and white with a touch of almond that got in there. And this one has thinned way down, so I'm kind of glad I found that white. This one is green. It's pretty much all green tones. And this one is red and pink. And honestly, I feel like with the size of the box, there might be one more somewhere. See? But maybe not. I love this system because I will grab these and pull these out and open this up and find the perfect color that I want and run it through my die cut, or these were samples from a book, or flip it over and use it for my sentiment or layering. I've been using these a lot. I go to these and I find that I use paper out of these much more than I would the big tub. Remember, if you've watched my videos before, I'm a lazy organizer. In the Clutterbug system, she has a channel and a website, Clutterbug. I am a butterfly, which means I'm lazy. This is a very complex system for me. I usually only want one-handed things. If somebody can think of a way where they're in a sorter and they're up on end and I don't even have to open anything, I'm in. I'll take that one. But I do like having my die cut or sentiment size scraps separate. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I would love to know how you store your scraps. And I think it will vary over time how we store things based on what we're doing the most. I am always making a lot of cards, so mine probably caters more to card size. the biggest thing is this will not work for a layer on the front of a card base. It can't be that first layer that is typically 5 1/4 by 4 if you're doing the full size face. Anything bigger than that goes in the other ones. And part of the reason they would probably fit in these boxes, but these are flimsy and they would bend. If I had those nicer ones that people are hauling from Tuesday morning, the hard ones, that might be good. These actually are a little thin, so I can't clean out my big box and put them all in here. So those are my ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to tell me underneath what you're doing with your scraps, because I'd love to hear it. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing and having a great day. Bye-bye.